Welcome to Through the Table Podcast with Brian, JL, Tom, Rick, and Russ. I think one of these times with those guitars in the background that you should do a
Rick Boog solo.
Yeah, or either that or just, theme songs.
Theme
You should
songs.
guitar WWE theme songs.
Well, this could work out because then maybe somebody in WWE sees it, and when they get rid
And
of
then-
Rick Boogs, I become the new guitar
They
player.
kill Rick Boogs and Tom takes over.
Yeah, there it is. Can't
That'd
wait
be
till I'm like, I don't
But the
know.
thing is, they put
Dick
you with
Sammy or
you
something.
with Angel and Humberto to be their manager.
Oh,
And a returning Nia Jax.
Yeah, you gotta
oh.
play one of those little tiny guitars that they have.
The ukulele.
No,
I have to wear a mariachi outfit.
yes, fact.
Well, there already has been a mariachi. Tito Santana.
He was a matador.
He was El Mariachi too, wasn't he?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
He was just the matador. That was back when Vince was taking like all these well-established, like really incredible workers and turning
And
them into
giving them
cartoon
gimmicks.
characters. Yeah, like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat just became the
An
dragon.
actual dragon.
Yeah, one of the greatest workers of all time. Hey, let's have him come to the ring with an iguana.
Yeah, with an iguana in his hand and some in a flaming stick with with lighter fluid in your mouth.
Yeah. Don't swallow. Ugh.
You're gonna be a plumber.
TL Hopper.
Abe Knuckleball Schwartz.
That's NXT right now, man.
That's what it is.
That's where it
They
came
got
from.
boxers and
The
poker
Goon.
players and
Oh, that poker player thing that you guys sent the other day was the absolute worst freaking gimmick ever, with his awful over the top "I'm from New York" accent.
Oh, that's not the poker player. That's that Tony DeVito, the Tony Angelo, the
Tony
mafia
D'Angelo.
dude.
He's the mafia guy. Yeah,
Mhm.
he's the people that give cement shoes and stuff. Yeah, no, the poker player. He's like I think he's Australian.
Yeah, that's a different
But
character.
it's terrible. And then there's my favorite, Jacket Time.
Yeah. Why were they wearing amateur wrestling outfits the other day? What was
So
that whole deal?
That was part of the Halloween episode.
Oh, okay.
And that's how they got the match with the Creed brothers. Was
Oh.
they made fun of the Creed brothers because I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it just yeah.
It really doesn't matter.
So yeah, that's it's terrible, absolutely terrible.
bad.
Roderick Strong has to be like, God damn it!
Oh, I'm sure. Why did
Just-
they resign?
He's just seeing all his friends just having
They're all
fun.
gone soon.
Yep, having a great time on Wednesdays.
When does Ciampa lose the titles? Now the next question, probably what at the pay-per-view coming up?
Whatever takeover they have.
Well, they're doing
think over
called War.
2.0.
It's just called War Games in on December now.
Oh, they're having war games still?
Yeah. They announced it at the last show here this past Tuesday.
So apparently on the European tour that they just went on or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
they had the Walter and Cesaro
Yes.
matches every night, but
Right.
then they also, I guess they did Tommaso versus Braun every night, Braun
Correct.
Breaker.
Yes.
So they showed video footage of that on NXT,
Okay.
and basically, Braun said like, Tommaso, I'm not done with you. I'm learning more, and the next time we meet, I'm taking that belt.
Hmm.
So I definitely still think that
War Games
maybe,
must be.
but I mean,
I'm wondering if Ciampa's contract runs out the same time as everyone else's. It's early December if it is.
I mean, I don't know, just because we're, he's been hurt a couple times where they could do that thing
Yeah,
that.
I don't know if they have
Extended.
that for NXT. I know for the main roster they do. NXT, I don't know.
Oh, man, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they do or
Right.
not.
Hopefully they don't. So he
Yeah.
can. But
But if they're going to get rid of him, they might as well just let him walk at that point.
see, with Ciampa too, the thing I'm wondering is, does someone like Ciampa sign with AEW where he does,
No. No.
because I think he's happy with just.
Even if it's only once or twice a week, I don't think he wants to.
Right. I'm surprised he went on the European tour, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that's it. He's
Maybe they asked him to go up there and just
Right.
work with Breaker just to get him more seasoned. I don't think they worked every night when they were on the tour.
Oh no.
No, that match wasn't on every night. It was
Oh,
like
okay.
every other show.
Because I was thinking like maybe that could be it too. Like Tommaso, doesn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
This might be my last couple of months in WWE.
could
Let
be.
me do a European tour or something.
I could see him become a trainer there or something instead of full-time wrestling.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Because I don't see him going to AEW. I just don't see it. I mean, anything's possible. I just don't see it. Because the style is so different for him where he's got to protect the neck all the time.
Right. I don't know. I mean, but too, I mean, Tommaso's, been around forever.
Oh, yeah.
He's a well of knowledge.
Late 30s.
Same thing. He could be, he'd be a nice addition to not even if he doesn't want to work. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
If he just wants to be an agent or a producer or whatever you call him now,
Sure.
it wouldn't be too bad.
To revamp an NXT down there, even the agents and stuff, he could fit in there easily enough.
Right. I mean, yeah.
If he lives down there, then he doesn't have to travel all over the place,
Right.
Because if you're on the main roster, you're traveling to every show. I don't think he wants to do that.
No, I definitely, I think that's one of the main reasons why I stayed down there.
Mm-hmm. Well, he already said if they ever brought him up, he'd quit. And that was like a year or two ago. He said, if you ever bring me up for the draft, I quit.
That's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Like the fact that it's 10 years. I mean, granted, there wasn't much going on 10 years ago, but
Yeah.
Like Tom said, it's not the end all be all anymore.
No.
And the fact that he could actually just sit there and outright just be, you know what, if you bring, like most people's dream is to get to the main roster, and he was just like, nah, I'll quit.
Yep.
I just.
But that's back when they were doing 5 shows a week. He goes, I can't do it.
Right.
I could do 1, I could do 2, I can't do 5.
Right.
But if you don't do them, you don't make the money if you don't do all the shows. Because they don't pay you a ton.
Speaking of not getting paid, we didn't talk about this. Xavier Woods.
Oh, yeah.
That blows my mind. Especially, I didn't think. I thought he had the rights to it.
I thought so too, but I guess not.
I think he sold it to
He
the
did.
WWE.
And then they don't pay him anything for doing it.
So I guess because I heard a thing today too where the money that he does make through Up Down Down and the money that he would make with the G4. He was supposed to be a host for G4 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, I guess that's still going on. But from what I've heard is that the money that he makes doing both of those comes out of his downside.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's like to me that's kind of crazy that how can you give that as a downside when it's extra? You know what I mean? It's your downside should just be
right.
You know what I mean, on TV and on house shows.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of G4, it's supposed to start November 16th.
Yeah.
So
I knew it was coming up soon.
So from what I've heard is that no They've just stopped doing
Yep.
up, down, down. He just stopped it.
Oh, he didn't stop it. All the other people that work with him for it,
Oh, because they're not
Got
getting
released.
they said that they don't feel it's right that he's not getting paid extra for it, so they've stopped producing content.
And a lot of people got released because like Adam Cole left, Tyler Breeze left.
Well, Tyler Breeze had a separate deal, and so did Jessamine Duke to keep going because they're two of the producers for it. And they had a side deal with the WWE to still be able to do up, down, down stuff. But since Adam Cole left to go join, the rival, he couldn't stick around.
Mhm.
But they stopped, and Shayna Baszler is one of their producers too. And they stopped producing content until he gets what they did. I guess they get paid besides what it doesn't come out of their downside. They get paid for it. And who knows? It's probably coming from Woods himself. Who knows? But they get a separate payment for doing up, down, down stuff where he gets a couple of bucks for it, basically. Right. I don't think it's right, so they've decided to stop making anything for it now. Oh, I guess there's a whole bunch of stuff on there, but they're not uploading anything right now. Because usually they shoot about a month ahead of time, so they have enough stuff to put up there. So they're just kind of holding it hostage right now.
It's I don't know. I just
Strange.
don't see why. Why would you stifle your superstars? You know what I mean? Just that's kind of what you want. You want that reach across multiple platforms.
Oh yeah, and they make a good amount of money on it.
Why would you try to strangle that and not have that be a thing?
Mm-hmm.
That's literally the only thing that you know what I mean. That's all the WWE's ever wanted.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It was just recognition across everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean? Like he's, up, down, down was probably like the first, I think maybe what was it? Zach Ryder stuff, the Z True Long Island Story, or whatever it was called, was before that. But
yes,
I mean, up, down, down is easily probably the most successful YouTube content that WWE has. And it's just so to have to just be so stubborn about it to where the people working on it that have been working on that forever.
Yep.
Now they don't want to do anything because it's I guess, chalk it up to another thing. WWE just sucks the fun out of, I guess.
It seems that way.
It's too bad.
And how many hours he puts in a week, and he's getting nothing for it, basically.
So I wonder if that that number that came out the other day about people's Twitches, and stuff like that, if that's why it was so low, is because it's just
because they take so much out, that's all he gets from it. Maybe
that's a damn shame.
Yeah, could be. They make a $200,000 and he gets 10,000 of it. It's not. That's nothing.
I don't know. I just don't understand. I don't get how WWE went from like the biggest destination, to just literally just crushing numerous people's dreams and whatever. Just it just seems
they just kind of changed how they run the business now. In the last few years, everything's really changed.
And the way they're just presenting their product right now too, it seems like they're just trying to give AEW like, you know what I mean? Like it's, and the thing that stinks about AEW is there's just still stuff on that show that's just kind of like it's almost like at this point it's whoever's going to win, or I mean I can't even say win, but like it's who's going to screw up less. You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel right now. Like AEW, they're doing a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of compelling storylines. There's still a ton of stuff that I can't say I absolutely hate, but like the Jericho, like I said, he needs to go. Hardy needs to go.
Tony Khan just put his foot in his mouth from a press conference about women wrestling. So add him to maybe saying something stupid in the future.
But even that, like me and Brian were talking about that a little earlier.
Mhm.
It's, as much as he said something stupid, it was the girl called him out on Twitter, basically said that, he was rude and ignored her question, just, over talk to her. And I mean, like I said in the chat earlier, the what he said, as much as it was, he wasn't wrong,
No.
but at the same time, the way he said it,
right. It was the way he said it.
right.
Because I was on the call,
Sure.
and it was a call situation where it was like, we would all be on the call, but like we couldn't chime in,
Yeah.
like because we would be muted.
Sure.
But once this was happening, like who knows what other people were feeling, but like I was just like, this is an interesting, hill to die on. That and it was just like, why do you need this credit? You did it, cool, just say that you did it. But he kept referring more and more. He was just like, I should have got this credit for this, and it was just like, okay, stop talking, like
The reason why he's saying is because NWA keeps saying it every week that they were the only one that put on that women's pay-per-view, and it was all because of them. And they're basically taking credit for doing it all, where Tony
Right.
sent them all that talent, paid all that talent to be there, flew all that talent to be there. NWA paid nothing on it.
right.
And they didn't even give him a thank you, apparently, is from what he was taking. That I think he was just kind of pissed off about that because everyone was saying how great of a show it was,
Yeah, he should have just said it differently.
Right. And he
But-
called her up the second it was over, I guess. He called her almost immediately after the presser was over and apologized.
Right, and he made good on it.
Mhm.
Like you said, apologize. So it's, I mean, yeah, it sucks, but it's kind of like what I said earlier. It's
And I guess she's going to get the first question at the presser, the next one she's at. And
that's understandable.
she's first in line because he screwed up and he admitted it. He goes, I got mad. It happens sometimes. Or
Right.
Not mad, but probably more frustrated that everyone's overlooking what he did for it.
Which is kind of funny because the fact that, like I said earlier, it's
Mhm.
he's getting crap because of something that he said and did out of anger or frustration.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But,
mean, he screwed up. He knew he screwed up.
But at the same time, the fact that everyone's kind of not mad at him, but it's he flew all those girls out. He
Mhm.
paid all those girls. He paid, what I mean? Who can ever say that their boss told them to go work somewhere else?
Yeah.
And on top of whatever they're going to give you,
Mhm.
I'll pay you more. I'll fly you there.
No,
it's
he
just
paid them whatever he usually pays them. The NWA didn't pay him at all.
didn't pay him at all.
No.
Oh, okay, so I thought that at least the NWA paid them their whatever
Maybe
asked
they
for.
gave him something, but he says whatever I usually give them for an AEW show, I gave them, as well as getting them to the show, putting them up, getting them home, and all that. From what it sounds like, I don't think NWA paid him at all, but I could be wrong.
Right.
I don't know the whole story.
And that's the thing too. Like, if I'd be kind of mad too if I sent all those employees and
It was like 8 to 10 girls went out
Right.
there.
You send those everybody out there and pay them, and you don't even get like a
Thank
I
you.
can't-
Or
yeah, not even a
apparently
thank-
he didn't get a thank you. That's from what it sounds like, is they didn't even thank him. They just said, "Oh, we did it all on our own."
See, that's
Right.
kind of surprising though too, 'cause just where like I know Mickey James and all this were like worked very close with that whole project.
Mhm.
I thought Mickey James would have maybe like, you know what I mean, like especially after everything that she just kind of went through. with the whole, it's
I
just
wonder if it's more of Billy Corgan didn't do anything.
Well, here's the thing. Totally set. Yeah, Billy Corgan's probably the main money
Mhm.
person.
Yeah.
I was just looking at net worths. Billy Corgan, both these numbers are just insane, but Billy Corgan's net worth is 60 million, where Tony Khan's is 8 billion.
Yep. And
So
that's why people saying AEW is going to go under any day and it's not happening.
right.
Yep.
That's what happens when you own a NFL team and an EFL team or whatever they call it over in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
where I don't know, they're up to like $50 billion if they sold that team off, where it's probably double of what the Jaguars is worth at least.
Yeah.
So I mean, if he's worth 8 billion, Shad must be worth like 100 billion or something. Who knows? Some insane number, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's just nuts.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he can afford it, but that's not the point. It's just say thank you. I guess
Exactly,
it's
yeah.
more of what he wants, like
Right.
he doesn't mind chilling it out there and helping somebody. I don't think he thinks that Mickey James probably said thank you, I'm sure, because she seems like somebody that would do that. I think it's more of Billy Corgan because they haven't really worked with them since then.
Billy Corgan seems kind of like a douche.
Yeah.
He's not from the business either, so I don't think he knows the etiquette.
You brought the NWA to do something with it, and he's just really done nothing with it.
Right. And it's
Doesn't
weird
put any
too.
money into it.
I forget. I listened to it was. I forget what podcast it was. It might have been Renee Young's podcast, but it could be or either that or Jericho's maybe. But it was an interview with Billy Corgan, and like
It's probably Jericho. He interviews everybody.
right, and it's just kind of like he just came off just real. I don't know, real douchey.
Mm-hmm.
Like in just the like him using the lingo and
Yeah.
kayfabing and all. It was just kind of weird coming from Billy Corgan's mouth. It just didn't I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's been around the wrestling business for.
Yeah, because he did stuff with Impact.
He did stuff with Impact, but then he also
had some his own. He had some like local stuff in like Illinois or something.
Yeah, there was a Chicago.
Minnesota
I think it was Resistance Pro or something like that.
Yeah,
I remember
Years
Cabana
ago,
used to work all those shows because
Mhm.
that was when Cabana was first getting the podcast going and whatnot.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But so I mean, he's been around the business for a bit.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's like part of it is, he you know what I mean? Like he's, but it just still it's still weird to hear him talking, talking about heels and faces.
I guess you could kind of say that about Tony Khan too.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Absolutely.
Very true.
But the one thing from what I hear about like Tony Khan is that he's been a wrestling fan like all his life, and but he's also like almost a savant, if you will.
Yeah,
like,
he remembers everything that happened everywhere.
So like I've heard different, he's been on AEW podcasts and stuff like that too, and it's some of the of thin air. Oh yeah, this happened this day, 1994, and it's just like how. It's like
he's talking about some Mid-South show for CWA in Memphis back in 1987, and they did this angle. We should use that.
Yeah.
Huh?
And it's cool that that he gets it. You know what I mean? I'm sure. He's got his, I guess little inner circle or whatever, like behind the scenes. But it's I know he's like the final say. He's like the Vince McMahon with the booking and stuff. But I do feel like he also has it's kind of like ECW. Paul Heyman would, all right, you guys are wrestling tonight. Try to make something work. If it doesn't work, we're going to go in a different direction.
Yep.
But that's, at least he listens, listens to the direction of, and we'll change it. It's like the thing you put in there today. It's like if we're going to change the format of Dynamite when we move to TBS,
Yep.
if you guys don't like it, we can always go back to how it used to be.
They're going to change the format some, and they're going to redo the set. And if everyone hates everything, then guess what? The following week, it's back to how it was.
And that's cool. And that's I think that's what I like about AEW as well is the fact that they do listen and they do acknowledge the fans when it comes to certain things, and it's not just an audience of one.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So,
Thank you for listening to Through the Table podcast with Tom, Rick, Russ, JL, and Brian. Catch us on Twitter and Facebook. Please like and subscribe.